Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is an email that I received from someone who has a friend in Reno, Nevada. They just send them these pictures from Walmart, and they say that this is what they look like all the time. Now, they're not 100% bare, but just imagine how long it would take for these shelves to be stripped if people started to panic. I mean, look at this. This is the vitamin shelf. It's like 98% bare. Here's the medicine shelf, pain medication shelf. I would say it's about 95% bare. Toiletries. Here's your meats. Beef, hams. Here's the milk. Here's your fabric softeners, detergents. $15 for a bottle of Tide. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I have a lot of news for you today, so get ready for your dose of daily reality. No, it's not doom and gloom, it's reality. Why? Because if it was doom and gloom, then there would be no hope. But there is hope. Why? Because we have time to prepare. We still have time to prepare, but time will eventually run out. UK's Iceland lets shoppers pay for food on credit, ladies and gentlemen. Supermarkets adds grocery to buy now, pay later list. And a test run of payment scheme reduced use of food banks by 92%. So people are electing to put food on credit, on buy now, pay later, than to go to the food banks. That's going to alleviate some of the stress from the food banks. But what's going to happen when all of these people that couldn't pay for food to begin with are now putting the food that they're consuming in credit, and they run out of credit? I was on someone's live stream, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and someone asked that question. I think it was Magic Prepper's live stream. Yes, I was. It was Matt's live stream that I was participating. I wasn't part of the live stream. I was just in the chats. And I saw someone ask if beef is scarce, if there's a, what do you call it? Shortage of beef. I get my words mixed up, ladies and gentlemen. But they said if there's a shortage of beef, then why are beef prices coming down? Well, they are coming down, and in my opinion, they're going to stabilize for a while. And I've explained this before, but for those of you that maybe don't know why, this is my opinion, okay? And I think that there's validity behind it. A lot of ranchers / farmers are getting rid of their cattle. Why is that? Because the input costs in order to keep the cattle fed and watered, and also all of the fuel that is needed in order to keep those cattle, happy, I guess you can say, transport them, whatever it may be, it is getting too high. So the price of feed is getting very high. The price of hay is getting very high. The price of everything that it takes in order to farm or ranch, i.e. input costs, are getting very high. So these, and including water, right? Including water, not only high, but scarce as well. So a lot of cattle have been culled, and they are flooding the market. And now that there is a glut of cattle in the market, the price obviously is going to go down. In addition to that, a lot of people have switched over from eating beef to eating other proteins. Why? Because they just cannot afford the beef. So now they're consuming other types of proteins, leaving even more of a glut in the system when it comes to beef and beef products. So that also has something to do with this. So some of it is input costs on ranchers. They're having to call their herds, faster than they would have normally, which is creating a glut. And another factor is supply and demand. A lot of people have switched off from eating beef because they couldn't afford it. Now they're not going back to it, even though prices have come down, although they're still pretty high, in my opinion, for your average family. If you have a pressure canner, if you have a freeze dryer, if you have a way of preserving beef, and you're a beef eater, now is the time that we're going to need to take advantage of this. Take advantage of this now so that you can have that stocked up, because prices are going to continue to go up. Right? Inflation is never ending, ladies and gentlemen. As I tried to explain in yesterday's video, if you live in a country where there is a central bank that produces your currency, inflation only has one way to go. And especially here in the United States of America, where there is so much U.S. debt around the world, so many U.S. debt notes, when those come home to roost, things are going to be astronomical. It's going to take you so much more of your labor in order to pay for everyday items that you better get them now before that occurs, because eventually it will. And why am I so sure about that? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Just study history. It's simple. And mathematics does not lie. The Federal Reserve is setting a CBDC recession trap, and this is definitely worth reading. I'm not going to read the entire thing. For those of you that may be new, I always provide the links to all of these articles on a pinned comment below. The current economic crisis of a looming 2022 recession has brought on the recently passed Inflation Reduction Act, which does the exact opposite. Buried in the text of the bill and a March 2022 executive order from the president are fine print passages about a new financial technology that the U.S. government will enact and pilot. It is called a CBDC, or a central bank digital currency. I've been talking about this a lot, but the more people that hear it, the more times that you hear it, hopefully you will do your own research and find out exactly what this is and what it is meant to do. The exact text of the order reads, quote, "The order also encourages the Federal Reserve to continue its research, development, and assessment efforts for a U.S. CBDC, including development of a plan for broader U.S. government action in support of their work. This effort prioritizes U.S. participation in multi-country experimentation and ensures U.S. leadership internationally to promote CBDC development that is consistent with U.S. priorities and democratic value." So they want to promote the CBDC internationally. What have we been doing for the last 50 years with our military and our sanctions? We've been promoting the Federal Reserve note, ladies and gentlemen. So this is no good, in my opinion. If you're not frightened by this verbiage, you should be. If fully carried out, Chinese-style socialism could invade the thing you've worked your whole life to build, your retirement and savings. You might be thinking, this could never happen in the United States. Of course not. The US dollar is the world's currency. While that line of thought may have had true for more than 60 years, the strategy is rapidly shifting in the US and around the world. Right now, over 100 countries are exploring or piloting CBDCs, a digital form of a country's sovereign currency. And why is it that these countries are doing this, ladies and gentlemen? Because it allows them to trade with other nations bilaterally using their own, their own currency. Meaning what? That they then, therefore, would not need the US Federal Reserve note to do trade, either in paper, either in digits, or a CBDC that is sponsored by the United States. And they continue here, just like their foreign design Build Back Better initiative, it is a prefabricated template for currency takeover by the global elite. A central bank digital currency varies greatly from other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, and it really does. If we do go on a CBDC, you will wish that we had Bitcoin to interact with. Unlike Bitcoin, the digital currency is controlled by the federal government. Excuse me. While they maintain control over factors like interest rates within the currency, they also have built-in mechanisms. Now, this is where it gets interesting and important. That include programmable algorithms in the currency. These algorithms amount to Chinese communist-style control over your money. Now, you have to understand what is money. If you don't know what money is, then you really need to do a little bit of research and educate yourselves. How fast you can spend your money, where you can spend it, and even the things that you buy will be subject to government approval before the transaction is approved. Pretty much that you will have absolutely no sovereignty whatsoever. Because what is it that you do throughout the day that doesn't take money? But you have to understand what is money. Anything that can be controlled and regulated from a purchase or transaction standpoint would be at the mercy of the U.S. government's algorithms. Drive a gas-powered vehicle, your digital currency account will only let you spend so much money each month at the pump. It sounds unbelievable, but this is what is in the horizon. Keep in mind that when the CBDCs are fully implemented, Bitcoin may no longer be here, may not last very long. The US government doesn't like competition, especially when it comes to the US dollar. We've spent trillions of tax dollars on countless wars and conflicts just to protect our currency. And the reason that we've done that to protect our currency is to protect those people that are at the top that consider themselves our rulers. And here it says, I am shocked. U.S. crop tour reveals drought-stricken cornfields. And I just wanted to show you the picture of a few of these. It says here, both corn and soybeans were below average at the initial stops in South Dakota on the western leg of a 4-day pro-farmer Midwest crop tour. And it says that corn yield's potential was estimated at 118 bushels per acre, well below the three-year average of 161 bushels per acre, which is roughly 25-26% less. Soybean pod counts stood at 792, below the 1,073 average. So it's not looking very good for corn and soybeans in these states that they've toured. You can't say that about every single state. I do have a good story to go over with you that actually somebody sent me where their state is doing very well. So that it's very good news. But if you take a look at all of these pictures, it doesn't look like it's doing very well. I mean, that just doesn't look, it's not at the very good. It's not very good quality. Is it still consumable? Yes, but not all of it is. So this is what they're coming up with. Now, I did get this from someone who emailed it to me, and in his email he said, hey, I've got great news for my area. So ladies and gentlemen, it's not all about gloom and doom. It's about the probabilities of what's going to happen in the future, dependent on the circumstances on the ground right now. And it says here, harvest production is up significantly from last year, and that is great. Listen, for those of you that may be newer here, I wish nothing more than that I am 100% wrong and me estimating that we are going to be going into a real food shortage, right? Originally, I said that we would be going into a food shortage because people would be getting priced out of the market, and that's happening. Even with prices going down, people are still getting priced out of the market. Look at that story from the UK in Iceland, where people are having to borrow money just to buy food, and now they have a pay-as-you-go or buy now, pay later for food, right? It's actually happening. The next phase, in my opinion, will be that there will be scarcity in food, not due to just inflation, but due to a various amount of factors. And here it says that as expected, this year's cool, wet weather up in Washington is producing great yields. It says that this winter's wheat production is nearly double last year's harvest at 129 million bushels. Washington growers are getting 72 bushels per acre statewide, which is up from 42 an acre in 2021. Idaho winter wheat is expected to produce 66 million bushels, which is up 44% from 2021. Idaho growers should get about 91 bushels an acre on winter wheat, up 20 bushels from last year. So that's about 25, almost 25%. That's great. So I hope that this is the case for every single state that grows wheat, because wheat is very important. There's a couple of things, you know, where I could play devil's advocate here, but I won't, because this is good news overall. You know, the quality of the wheat is one of those things. You know, how much protein is in it? Is it actually good quality, high protein wheat? However, in my opinion, this is good news. So thank you very much to the person that went ahead and sent me this. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, just goes to show how out of touch our rulers, and when I say rulers, always put a quotation mark on them, always put a bracket on each side, right? Watch the energy czar tell poor people to buy solar panels. So there's a couple of problems that I found with this here. And here she says, Granholm, I think is her name. I think that's her name, Granholm. Yes, Jennifer Granholm. If you are of low income, you can get your home entirely weatherized through the expansion from the bipartisan infrastructure law, a significant expansion. You don't have to pay for anything. She claimed, adding, if you want heat pumps, insulation, new windows, that is covered. Now that's great that that's all covered for free. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, were the stimulus checks that we received a couple of years ago free? They may have been at that time, but we are definitely paying for them now and will continue to pay for them for the rest of our lives. Whenever the U.S. borrows money, whether it is to build something or to give it to the people, they can never pay that money back. The government can never ever pay money back that it borrows, because the government produces zero. It is we that end up paying it back. So now, this year, in my opinion, we started paying back for those stimulus checks that we received a couple of years ago, and we will continue to pay it back for the rest of our lives and our children for the rest of their lives, unless the system changes. So no, nothing is free. And then she continues to say, if you are a moderate income, today you can get 30% off the price of solar panels. And if you cannot afford the other 70% up front, you can always take a loan out for it. So if you're poor, just go get a loan, all right, so that you can get solar panels on your house. That is how out of touch these people are with the American people. And it is a heck of a shame. I'll tell you that much right now. Let's go ahead and go over the markets really quick. Let's see how they're doing. Here, the Dow Jones is down a little bit, 107 points for 32,957, currently at about 9:41 a.m. And as you can see, it's taken a little bit of a drop here. It actually made it past the 200-day moving average, but it came right back down. As I said a while back when all of this here started going up, that this is a bear trap, I think it's called. Don't quote me on that. I think this is a bear trap where we are in a bear market. The trend is going down, and then it fools people to get into the market just so that it can drop pretty quickly, as you are seeing it drop. However, don't take my word for it. I am not an expert in economics, all right, because I can barely even talk, and this is just how I see it. But if you take a look at this right here, the MACD is an indicator of how the market is going to go. And whenever that blue line goes under the red line, it means that the market here is not looking too good as far as it going up. It's going to continue to go down. Here, the RSI, you can see this line as well. You can see how this line is dropping. Until these lines do a reversal, until this blue line reverses and goes over the red, and you can see here, until it turns green or light green, we're going to continue to go down. How fast? I don't know. Same story for the S&P 500. You can see the same thing. It's the same picture on the RSI, the MACD, and you can take a look at the graph. Here, this is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, same thing. Even though the NASDAQ is up just a tiny bit today, it's showing that it's up 38 points, but I don't see that on the graph. It must be too small. But the same picture there. And yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I was shocked because last night, you know, this is how boring my life is, okay? Last night, I'm taking a look at this after the markets closed, because I hadn't looked at the markets really too much. And I'm taking a look at this, and the dollar got all the way up to 109. I was like, oh my goodness, the dollar is at 109. I was excited. I was hoping that it would continue to go up, because the higher that the dollar gets, the lower that the price of gold supposed to goes, because the value of gold, the value of the dollar is compared to gold. So the stronger that the dollar gets, the lower that the nominal value of gold is. The value is still the same, but the nominal value in dollars goes. So I was hoping that it would continue to go up. I'm hoping this is not a double top, right? This here looks like a double top, which means that we're going to go boom, we're going to go down. I'm hoping that it does continue to go up so that gold and silver can go down even more so that we can capitalize off of that. The price of oil is at $93.77 right now. The U.S. 10-year bond, it made it back above 3%. Not good. That's not good at all. Not for the economy, it's not. We'll see what happens with that. The 30-year bond is at 3.24. Gold right now is sitting at $760.60. And we're hoping that gold will continue to go down some. Why? Because we want to capitalize off it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you a question. If you go to Walmart and they have a sale, I know this used to happen in Kmart, the blue light special, I think it was. Then again, I could be wrong. But if you go to Walmart, let's say they have a blue light special in Walmart, and they said, okay, for the next 15 minutes, we have toilet paper, you know, and we're going to sell it at 50% off. Would you buy only one pack? No, you'll be like, oh man, let me stock up on this. This is a great deal. Why? Because you know what that toilet paper is going to do for you. It's going to do for you what toilet paper does, right? But if it was at full price, you'd probably just buy what you needed, right? If you're a prepper, you already have some put away. But if they have a blue light special, you probably buy more. Same thing with gold. We already know what gold is. Now, I'm not saying that that's all you need in order to be prepared. All right, that's probably one of the very last things that you need and that I would recommend, although I can't recommend it. I'm not a financial advisor. Silver has gone down. Look at silver, $19.10, and I think it's going to continue to go down. I mean, look at the RSI and the MACD. Well, it looks like it's having a little glitch up, but let's take a look at gold again. Same thing with gold. It's having a little bit of a glitch up. Let's hope that it continues to go down. And then platinum, 882, which has gone down quite a bit. Palladium made it under $2,000 an ounce. Wow. Isn't that something? Dr. Copper is at 369. Let's see, the water index in the NASDAQ for California is still at all-time highs, 1214. And that 1214, I believe, is per acre foot. Is this wheat? Wheat is sitting at 808. This is corn. Yep. Corn is sitting at 660. Soybeans are sitting at 1463. Rice is almost reaching an all-time high at 1760. And lumber continues to fall at 491, but we're looking at a double bottom here, so it may do a reversal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. I hope that you got something out of this. Thank you very much for joining in today. I truly do appreciate every single one of you, and I really love spending the time that we spend together on an everyday basis. And remember that this Sunday is going to be the last Sunday where we're going to be having Christmas in August. And I will be giving away some things there besides just the regular Visa gift cards that we've been giving away. For those of you that haven't chimed in to our live streams on Sunday, this Sunday I'll be giving away 3 $100 Visa gift cards along with a couple of other gifts. So be there or be square. But we will celebrate Christmas for the last Sunday in August, not the last week, but the last Sunday in August. Hope to see you all there. And we will also have our regular Friday, 2 p.m. Alaska time, of course. Live stream. So we'll have our regular Friday live stream at 2 p.m. Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So hope to see you there as well. Other than that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. God bless.